Perek Tes Mishnah Hey. We're now back to the theme that we left off in Perek Ches, i.e. the Tana is listing the smallest shiurim that a person will be chayav for carrying them on Shabbos. So it says the Mishnah, Hamoitzi eitzim, if a person carries wood, how much wood you have to carry in order to be chayav for hitzah on Shabbos? Says the Mishnah, Kedei levashel beitza kala, the amounts of wood that you would need to cook the smallest of eggs. So this is the same share that we mentioned previously in the Mishnah in Perek Ches Mishnah Hey, when we were talking about reeds, a thicker type of reed. That also we said Kedei levashel beitza kala. Now what is that? The Bartanura says beitzas tarnagolis, that's a chicken's egg. Shehi kala lebashel, which cooks very easily. Yosim mikol shah beitzim, more than all other eggs. V'lo kedei levashel kula, we don't have to cook all of the egg, and there are enough wood k'gregaris mena to only cook a dried fig's worth, a k'gregaris of this egg. Furthermore, trufa v'nasuna be'ilfas, like we said in the previous parak, once the egg has already been whisked and mixed with oil and put in a preheated frying pan. So that is the shear that we mentioned and we described in the previous parak. The Mefarshim, the Taisus Yontef, quoting the Gemara on Pei Tes on the base in Shabbos, wonders what's the need for the Tana to tell us this. It's Poshet, Hamoitzi eitzim, what else are you going to use eitzim for? Then that's the natural usage, is to use it as firewood, to cook things, and we've already been told that for cooking material, for using it as fuel for cooking material, the shear is the amount to cook a beitza kala. So what's the chiddush of this Mishnah? So the Tais Yontzef, quoting the Gemara, says that I might have thought that when it comes to eitzim, I could use it for even a smaller usage, i.e. to use it as a tooth for a key. We described also previously, imagine if you've got a key and you've got the tooth coming down at the end, I might be able to use a minuscule piece of wood as the tooth for the key, and you'd be chayav for carrying even that small amount of wood. Kamash Milan, our Mishnah teaches us that you're actually chayav for carrying only a larger amount of wood, i.e. the amount needed kedei levashel beitza. Continues the Mishnah. Tavlin, spices, how much spices you have to carry in order to be chayav for carrying on Shabbos. Kedei letabel beitza kala, the amount needed to spice up, to cook this small egg. So the amount of salt and pepper and ginger and whatever tablin, whatever spices you're using, to kedei letabel beitza kala. And these spices you can combine. You can have a small amount of salt, a bit of pepper, and a bit of ginger, for example, and together that gives you the shear which is needed to spice, to be metabel this beitza. That would be enough of a shear. Klape egoizim, the shells of nuts. Klape rimoinim, the shells of pomegranates. Isotim, the art scroll translates isotim as woad. The Bartanura says beloshna ravi, nil beloshna ravi. V'tzov doimel tcheles. It's something which is used, like some sort of vegetable used to produce a blue dye. Upua. Sharshe Esev, the Bartanura says shetzovim b'hem edom. This is some sort of vegetable roots used to create a red dye. So isotim upur kedei litzboya bohen beget ktana b'svacha. The amount needed to dye a small bit of cloth on the svacha. Now the svacha is a woman would wear some sort of netting around her head, and around where a man wears his couple, there was a bit of cloth on the top. So the amount of dye needed to dye that small bit of cloth on top of this svacha, that is the amount of these materials, of the klippe, rimonim, isotim, pua, etc. The amount needed to dye this small bit of cloth on top of the netting that a woman may wear. Okay. Meiraglaim, urine, neser uboiris, kimonia va'ashleg. These are all washing type. They're sort of soaps. The Bartanura defines each one. Neser is min adomo. It's a type of earth. Umazhir v'korim le alum belaz. Alum. Okay. Boiris min semach, a type of vegetable. Shemekanech u'matai, used as a soap. Kumunya esev shemenakim ba'ofrei. It's a type of plant where you clean using the earth, and you use it to clean your daim. It's your daim lahavres hazuhama, to remove stains from a person's hands. V'loshen Talmud kori asholof din. V'ashleg also is a type of soap cleaning material. And the Batanur says Ler Sparashli Mahu. He doesn't know exactly its precise definition. Okay, so all of these things, how much are you going to have to carry in order to be chayav on Shabbos? It's the amount needed to clean the small cloth on the top of the svacha, which we just described. The woman would wear this net around her hair, and the top part of it would have a sort of piece of cloth. The amount needed to dye that piece of cloth. Now, Rabbi Yehuda argues. Rabbi Yehuda says, Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Kedei lahave ala kesem. It's the amount needed to remove a kesem. The Mishnah in Nida, in the 9th Perek, Mishnah Vav, says that if a stain is found on a beged, and a person is not sure whether this stain is some sort of paint or some sort of dye or anything, or maybe it's dam, and that would render the woman a nida or a zava, depends. So one has to do some sort of test to ascertain what the stain is. So the Mishnah reads as follows. The Mishnah in Nida Perek Tes, Mishnah Vav. Shiva samamonim avim ala kesem. There are 7 substances which remove a stain. Roik tofel or megrisin. And now, those are 2 of them. And then the 5 next items mentioned are the items mentioned in our Mishnah. Umeraglaim, v'nese, uboiris, kamonia, v'ashlik. Now, the Mishnah says, Ima kesem lo ovar, if after applying these 7 materials you have not removed the stain, then biodua shehu tseva, then it's known, then it's clear that it's some sort of other paint or other sort of dye. V'soiver Rabbi Yehuda, and Rabbi Yehuda is of the opinion, sheshir shekol min me'achorim halolu, that the measure of all of these things, l'schayv ha'letzos b'Shabbos, hushir shemavrim ala kesem, it's the amount needed to apply to a beged in order to do the test to try and remove the kesem to see that it's not dam. If the stain is removed, then it is dam, and if the stain is not removed, then it's not dam. It's some sort of other tzeva. So Rabbi Yehuda is saying that the amount you be chai for on Shabbos for carrying is the amount needed to test whether you can remove the stain on Shabbos. But the halach is not like Rabbi Yehuda, and the halach is like the Chachomim. That is, that it's the amount needed to dye the svacha ketana, like we've explained. That is the end of Mishnah Hey.